Dad, although he died 58 years ago in 1968, I know how proud he was of his Navy days. He wore his medals at Remembrance Day, but they were starting to show their age even in the 60s. After he passed, they went into my jewelry box, and quite frankly, they just looked worse and worse and worse as the years went by. It always bothered me, and I talked to John Jurek and Rick Nickerson about having them restored eventually. Well, I finally got off my ass a couple of years ago, or last year, and got them fully restored. They did a beautiful job. Once they were refurbished, I asked some of my family what to do with them. After some discussion, we agreed to donate them to the Bowser Legion, where they and others may find them. And even if after I'm gone, they can drop by for the meat draw and a beverage and see the medals. My dad died in '68, although many years before any of my guests here were on the scene. My brother-in-law, Bill, his son-in-law, came on the scene dating my sister about 5 years after Dad passed, so Bill never got to know his father-in-law. My two of his 4 granddaughters are here today, Chris and her sister Andrea. Andrea had a previous engagement, and my daughter Colleen is here today, and Julie got sick yesterday and couldn't make the trip. And they all came up from Victoria to be here.
Nice.
My dad was born in Yorkton, Saskatchewan in 1918. Older brother Roy, born 6 years earlier, joined the RCMP in the late 20s and went on to join the Navy. Not sure if Dad ever had seen the ocean before, but Roy convinced him that he should sign up, and he did when he was 19 years old, 1937. Dad's hearing was exceptional. He could hear dog whistles like they were just a normal whistle, and so the Navy picked up on that and trained him in how to not only listen to Aztec, which the Americans called sonar, and but how to fix all the equipment too. Apparently they had massive electric panels, vacuum tubes and stuff, probably with about a million times less power than my pocket watch. But anyway, the tubes broke all the time, and Dad got pretty good at fixing the stuff. Within a few years, of course, Canada went to war. The supply ships moving from North America to Europe were escorted by the ships that Dad was assigned to listen for. They're listening for U-boats, destroyers, and then the supply ships behind them. If you look at the map just outside our washroom doors here, you get an idea of the amount of destruction that those U-boats did. He did that for 6 years of the war. My dad was a very optimistic, positive guy. He didn't talk much about those days, but I'll share a few stories with you. Older brother Roy became a lieutenant commander. His Navy name was Sir. Dad's name, he was a chief petty officer, was Birdie, and their younger brother joined in 43 and 18. That was simply Dave. No one could believe that the damage that those U-boats did. He had occasional nightmares about ships behind him being hit and sailors in the ocean clinging to life when the ocean was on fire, but that didn't affect his day-to-day life. Dad had several friends from those days. Among them was Bill Friend Newton. He became a United Church minister and baptized my sister Sharon. Al Kubasek and Don Cole opened gas stations about 3 blocks from where I grew up. And Dad ended up as a hospital inspector for the new BC Hospitals universal kind of health care that they introduced in the 50s. My favorite story is that he had a big electronics board on the ship, and when in Halifax or New York or wherever to load up with stuff, my dad would load up with oranges and other fruit that was lacking over in Liverpool and the other places that they dropped stuff off. He made a huge sign, keep out 20,000 volts to hide them behind all his electronics gear, and he'd throw them to the kids on the dock when they got to mainly Liverpool. There's an old rumor that I've never been able to substantiate, is that he was really serious about a British nurse, but she got killed during a bombing of London. Life could have been very different, and all I can say is war is the shits, but unfortunately it happens and changes people's lives. Dad always looked up to his older brother, Roy. Roy was stationed in Ottawa, Halifax, and Esquimalt. Roy's daughter, Bev, was born in Halifax in '43, and then they moved to Esquimalt and Naden Hospital. By the end of the war, the whole family, my grandma and grandpa, Dad's 2 brothers and 2 sisters, all moved to Victoria. And then Dad met Mom, and most of my cousins were all born here. Most of us remained here on the rock. Dad died in 1968 when Canada was 101 years old. Although he fought under the Red Ensign flag, he was absolutely in favor of Canada having its own distinct flag. Glad to see that a year before he passed. Anyway, thanks for listening. I want to present his medals, and I'd like John Moran to receive them on behalf of the Legion.
This is a beautiful memorial